I'm gonna start holding this.
You could, well, if this doesn't work out, you can always switch to a murder one.
Murder podcast.
Murder podcast.
Well, I figure if someone tries to break in, we can just chop them down and be like, we're talking.
Yeah.
Boom.
We're talking. Get out of here.
So that's what this is for, our protection.
Oh, that's insane. What are your feelings?
All right, cheers
to
protection.
About getting an axe.
Okay. You probably should have brought one of these on your mission trip. You better convert.
Why would I get that through the airport, man? They'd be like, "What, you got an axe?"
You could probably get one at the place.
This is the first time I've ever flown.
It's
I didn't know I could do this.
It's in the gift shop.
I didn't know I could bring this. I've only flown one time.
Well, you just be like, this end is not sharp. And you just hand it to him like this.
See, I have the sharp end covered.
Exactly.
It's worthless at that point.
Yeah, I kind of cut myself. How? Already first injury.
Yeah, man. First injury.
Well, yeah, you could have brought this on your mission. So why don't you tell me a story about that mission in Kosovo?
Well, I have a few stories that are pretty good. So we went up there for it was 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks that we went there. And, did a little mission trip telling people about Jesus. And the one that was pretty cool. So it's obviously not like America. There's not churches.
There's not churches in Kosovo?
Churches like the temples and stuff, because it's pretty Muslim over there,
So it's all mosques and stuff.
There's mosques in the town, so it's all just a bunch of little villages everywhere, and there's one big town away from the village that we were in, because we were in Kosovo, and I can't think of the town that we were close to, but it was kind of cool. It had a mountain, or not a mountain, castle. So it had a little castle,
nice.
On top that you could hike up to and view, and we saw, but. So yeah, it was kind of cool. So yeah, you did have to do home churches there.
Oh yeah,
so we're staying. It was in a building at one of the organizations that we partnered with, Humedica. So it's
what's it called?
I think it's Humedica or something like that.
And that's an American organization, or
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
That's just what they told me, and
yeah,
we they partnered with them. And they had a little building that they would let us stay in. It's like a daycare. So the bottom was a daycare that they would take care of the village's kids and help them with their studies, and in the middle was a little apartment building, and then the top there was more of the apartment so people could stay.
Yeah.
So we would, during the night when we would be done, because we would kind of help with their certain stuff during the day, and then at night, one of the nights we had a church service for one of them, for them, for the people for the village, because there's not any older men there,
right?
Super old, because they were all killed in the war there. Well, I think it was the Serbians came and killed them, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah, they had a war going on.
The War of the Balkans? The Balkans War?
No, I can't remember. It was the Kosovo War, because I remember it was a while ago, because it was in Clinton's office. Because Clinton did something to help them, and they were they really like Bill Clinton, because he helped them when they were going through all this stuff. So, but yeah, they had a war over there, and I don't remember the exact age that they killed, how old you were. If you were a male, they killed you basically. So there wasn't a lot of. I mean, there might have been a few older guys that kind of survived it, but most of them were killed during this.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Just for being a certain age.
Well, I think they were trying to basically so they couldn't fight back, basically, if you kill the older. Yeah. And so it was kind of cool, because one of the guys there who was around my age, he was a kid when all this happened, but he came, we did the forge together, and then he went back, and then I went that summer, because the forge was in the winter.
Yeah.
So I went that summer, and we did the mission trip. So he was there, and we kind of talked to him about it, and he told us a little bit about it and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool to talk to him about it. So one night we were up there, and we did a little church service, a home church. Nothing like what you see around here, not
right, yeah.
in the big buildings and all that stuff. So we did a service. One of our guys preached, about getting saved and accepting Jesus into your heart, and just telling them what that entails. And it's a pretty big step up there. It's not anything here. I mean, it is a big deal depending on like what your family kind of like likes. You know, if you say you're Christian, some people get really mad, but like they disown you. Like
For sure.
yeah, like it's very Muslim, so they like disown you. And one of the guys, he basically rode his, I don't know how far he came from, but he rode his bike in to come to the service. And during like after the service, he talked to one of our guys, and he basically gave his life to Christ, and which is a big deal because he like basically was going to be disowned by his whole family once he told them where he came out. So
yeah,
it was that was kind of cool to see, like just seeing how it all worked out. Oh, new coasters!
Oh, these new coasters.
Yeah,
I think I jacked these.
no kidding. Right? So yeah, that was kind of cool to see. And then we also, when we went up there too, I think we did Monday to Friday, like 5 days. We did like a little like camp for like the kids from like middle school to like up, so that they could like do something for them, like that had all the stuff that happened to their families and stuff like that.
So how was the language barrier? How did you talk to them and kind of preach the word of God to them?
We
barely spoke English, right? Or
there
did they speak?
No, there was a few people up there that spoke English.
Yeah. So did you use a translator or?
Yeah, we had people that would translate. We had a couple Erdo and this other guy Alban. These two were like trying to like get things going up there, like start a church. Like they accepted Christ and they became Christians, and then they were trying to basically start a church together up there and like trying to get it off the ground. So we kind of like obviously helped them with that, and then did the camp for them. So we helped where we could, I guess.
So did you get anyone to convert?
Well, that one guy who came into the village for that one service, one of our guys, talked to him, told him what it meant, accepting Jesus into your heart, and it's a pretty big deal, because it's like you're kind of, changing your whole life basically.
So how does he get guidance after that? Because he doesn't have a preacher to go to, he doesn't have a church. So does he just get a Bible and you send him on his way, or how does he?
No, Alban and Erdo still do stuff.
Who?
Alban and Erdo. Those two people that they live there,
right? And
they obviously help with that, and they're still going to do like services after we leave.
Okay.
So they're going to keep it going and like try to grow,
what
they can during that time. Like obviously they can still help our get help from our like leaders at our church because we're still like partnered with them.
Right.
So
do they Zoom? Like,
I'm assuming. I don't know. I
gotta communicate.
Yeah, I miss out on those.
A messenger hawk?
I'm assuming. Yeah. So it's crazy. Like obviously it's, and they're like, I don't know if it's considered third world country or what it is now.
Yeah.
But it's crazy there because it's like everybody has like phones. It's like.
Right. Most places do.
Yeah. I've been to a lot of places, but that's the one place I've been, and I was kind of surprised. I was like, obviously I didn't know anything, so I was like, oh man, they got like a lot of phones and technology, and they can do all the Facebook and talk to people. So I'm assuming like they just talked with our our leaders on the phone or Zoom calls. You can do that across the world, right?
Yeah, they can. I'm curious how they got connected in the first place. Yeah. And like, how did you fund that? You did fundraising, right?
Yeah.
So how did you fundraise?
So fundraising.
So go over there.
We obviously asked people we knew. We wrote a letter to a bunch of people that said, "Hey, we're gonna go on this business trip for 2 weeks. If you would like to help finance it, cool." And they did or we sent those out, and then whatever you can get from that. Other people's just because the age ranges, so other people could just pay for it. So like I was a little bit on it was actually pretty young. The group that went.
How old were you? 17?
No, I was. So it was right after the Forge. So it was at 2004. No, 2015. So you were about 24.
Oh, you were 24?
Around 24. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That was your first time out of the country, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude, that was my first time on a plane.
24 years old. Your first time on a plane.
Yeah. Dude, I was surprised by like looking down and like, holy crap, everything's so square.
There's a lot of round and squares.
Oh, dude,
crazy.
It's crazy. I was like,
a lot of fields are very parceled out. It's really interesting to see that.
Yeah,
like, what the heck?
Divided, yeah.
And then I was like, please shut your window. I don't want to look out the window anymore.
The clouds were pretty sweet.
Pretty cool.
It's a pretty sweet view. Not gonna lie.
I hate flying. Unless it's private, I don't want to fly. It's the only way I like to go anymore. But I don't even have a private plane, so it's a moot point.
It comes later in life, I'm sure.
So did you do anything like tourism over there, or was it strictly mission trip?
So we did the mission trip. We did the little camp. That was pretty cool for 5 days, I want to say.
With all the children?
With like the middle school, high school, and like I think like young adults you would classify them as.
So what did you do with them?
So we went to honestly can't remember how far it was away. So I got sick.
Oh, I bet.
Because like obviously I'm not used to eating their food.
Yeah, I got sick too.
Oh, dude, and it was stuffed peppers, dude. I'll never look at stuffed pepper the same way. Oh, dude, and that it was bad. Like I was like, just shoot.
Ignore.
Yeah, ignore. So yeah, it was bad. I like was puking, pooping, just like everywhere. Like it started that night. I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, oh my gosh. Ooh. And it was like, so it was funny though. So it started with me and one of the girls. Actually, it was our pastor's wife got sick. Yeah. So we were up all night getting sick, right? We woke up the next morning and like, oh guys, just so you know, like we got sick. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you guys because it's like what we ate, you know? Yeah. And then like slowly through the day, everybody got sick.
Yeah. like I used to that bacteria in that food.
Dude, yeah.
It's crazy.
It was pretty funny. Like one guy, like he's like got done puking and he like came back. He's like, yeah, I puked, guys. He's like, oh no. And then like the people who hadn't puked yet were like, oh gosh, it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely coming. So yeah, so we like drove and I I mean I was getting like borderline like when you lose
car sick and stuff.
Well, like car sick and like when you lose like all that fluid, like dehydrated. So I didn't want to do anything, you know. So yeah, I just drove with like a shirt over my head like the whole way up to the camp. So I think it was like an hour, maybe 2 hours.
So you were a hostage?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And have somebody rescue me. Thank goodness for Liam Neeson. No, I'm just kidding. So.
He got you. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're not my daughter.
We'll find you. Yeah, and then he just left
me.
So then he left me. Yeah, so, but yeah, my dad wouldn't do that. Just so you know.
It's like we're gonna leave that boy there. Yeah, let's save some money.
You had a good run, son. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, love you too. So yeah, so it might have been an hour or two away, but we get up there and it was kind of a cool place to see, but it was crazy to me how like, because I'm used to Montana and like everything's spread out. Yeah. You go an hour, there's nobody there, right? Mm-hmm. There, like it just never felt like you got away from people. Like it's just like they would just find like places to go swim, and they'd be all like cars would be just lined up along the highway, like getting out in the rivers down there. So we went to camp in like the woods, and we even went on like a hike one of the days. Yeah. Which was probably the coolest hike ever, because like the guy was like, "Oh, you guys, for one of these camp days, what do you guys want to do? You want to go up and see a cool lake up in the mountains?" We're like, "Oh, sure." Yeah. So like, he's like, "All right, yeah, I'll take you guys."
I'll mute your phone for you.
Oh yeah, that's probably good. It was new. I'm trying to learn it now.
There you go.
That mutes it?
That mutes it.
What you do?
You didn't know how to do your iPhone?
No, I just got it like 3 weeks ago.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Just got it, man.
First time on a plane, 24.
Yeah.
Learned how to mute your iPhone.
Yeah.
29.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. There you go. I just showed you a new trick.
Dude, I'm learning so many things. Learned how to FaceTime the other day.
Dude. You learned how to FaceTime the other day?
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Dude, what did the Serbians teach you?
No, they were unavailable.
At this camp, you went to
learn
technology?
It was learn technology. So, we went on that hike. It was super funny because he's like, yeah, it's just not very far. Just hike up this mountain. Yeah. We're like, okay. Thinking like, it'd be like a normal hike with a trail. Yeah. And, it was not. He just took us straight up the mountain. So we're like crawling through bushes, like going over deadfall. We're like, this sucks. And then, like, the coolest is like we get to the first mountain. And he's like, oh guys, it's just one more mountain. We gotta keep going. So we climb up the other mountain, get up there. No, it's just one more mountain. We'll just keep going.
You kept going.
so not everybody was like super fit in our group.
Right.
One of them happened to be Erdo, like my buddy from the thing, and it was super funny because he was getting madder and madder at this guy. And he's like, "The guy keeps lying. He keeps saying it's the next mountain. It's not. I'm not liking this at all."
Right. Yeah. That's far.
Oh dude. Dang. Oh dude. We just I think we probably hiked up like I don't know like 3 or 4 like mountain like little spots, and like we finally
get to the lake.
Well, we got like close to the lake, and like I can't remember who said it. One person in our group was like, we're used to like Montana lakes when they're nice and big. They're like, what if this is just
like a pond?
Like a pond. So we're like, I don't know. Well, we'll find out when we get there, I guess. So we get to the top, and it's like it's like up to your knees. Oh yeah.
How big was it? Like
very disappointing.
100 yards.
Oh, not even that. Probably like I don't like 20 or 30 yards, like both ways. Like it wasn't big. Oh, dude, it wasn't big at all. Like it was,
just like melted.
Yeah, one of the kids we were with from Kosovo went out there and just sat there, and we're like, oh, cool, it's just neat.
Wow, nice.
So and then I think he said, well, we could go to another lake, and everybody's like, nah, we're okay, we're okay. Yeah.
Especially if you have to haul in there. Dang, dude. It's gonna be our hike today. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, it's just
one more mountain.
It's one more mountain over.
I can't be like super mad at the guy because I've done it before when we go on float trips. It's just one more bend, guys. It's one more bend.
Mm-hmm. Were you on that float trip with me and Scott down where's that? Oh, creek. We went with like Schultz's and got a bunch of people. I can't remember if you went on that one. I think you did.
Did I?
It was way up Belt Creek, up Logan Creek. We went on that bridge in that canyon. We were all on tubes.
Maybe, but it was a while ago.
It was a nice garden. I think it was like we were 19 or 18.
Yeah, might have been.
I can't remember if you were there or not. I swear you were. But we all went on those tubes, and it was like, we thought it was going to be like an hour long, maybe an hour and a half long trip. It was an all day.
It was a hot day.
I was so mad. He was in sandals. He was freezing. He's like, how much farther? And I just around the next bend. Right through the canyon. Everything up through the canyon. I'm like, oh, shoot. It's like, I thought it was around the next bend. Yeah. And it was like 4 hours later. Yeah. Oh, it's so bad. We actually had to hike out of it. It was so bad.
So bad. Dude, I've been on both ends of that. It's just a little bit further.
Yeah, just a little further. I'm like, oh my god, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Today's super easy hike though. It's super easy. It's paved trail.
Actually, can't be any worse than other hikes. Just take me up some deadfall and stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I'll show you on the hike that I did past this hike today. It was crazy, but today's really beautiful, really easy. If we can get up there, hopefully it's not too icy.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of worried about that.
Actually.
So, what'd you do after the hike then?
So we hiked up. Well, the coolest part was coming down. And so we came down, and we when we got close to the lake, we found a trail, right? So we weren't doing it like the deadfall and stuff the whole time, but for a good portion of it.
Yeah.
And then we're coming back down, and we follow that same trail, and we just keep following the trail.
Yeah.
And the trail goes all the way back to the camp. And we're like, why didn't we take this trail from the start?
Yeah,
it was like a super easy hike. It wasn't even hard. It was just we decided to go straight up the mountain instead of taking this trail that took us all the way back to the camp. So,
jeez, that's terrible.
Oh, that's super funny.
In the towns, did they have those mosque siren things?
I think so.
Yeah, or certain times of the day, the big siren thing goes off. Gives off the preaching for the blessing.
Oh yeah, I heard some words over the intercoms.
They had them over there too.
Yeah,
I have them all over those over the country. So I gotta figure out what they're called. I forget. Yeah. It's like a prayer though.
Yeah, there was one point where obviously you're going in as Christians and you're going into a Muslim country. Obviously, they don't like you. But there was one point in our trip that we were going to visit the town, and one of our interpreters got super nervous. He thought he saw some I don't know guns Taliban members or something like that kind of following us. It didn't turn out to be anything, but he got really nervous. He thought it was something bad, but it was fine. So good thing. So
dang, dude, that could have been bad.
Yeah, I don't know what would have happened because he saw him on the road when we were driving in. And he was kind of checking his mirrors a lot, and we're like, oh, this could get intense.
Yeah.
So
that sounds intense.
Yeah.
But I think that's more Middle Eastern than because Kosovo is right by Serbia, right?
Yeah. That was the war was with Kosovo and.
Serbia where it's not even on that map.
It's gotta be right.
It's right there somewhere.
Yeah, it's by Albania too.
Did you go to Serbia?
No.
I went to Serbia. I went to Belgrade. It's not that great.
Yeah.
I didn't like Belgrade at all.
Yeah.
Belgrade. Not a vibe by any means. Man, I can't believe I missed Kosovo though.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it's at.
It's middle of nowhere, packed with
I have to look on that map. That map's way more detailed.
Oh yeah, dude.
But it's all covered in pins though, so you can't even see it.
It's on one of those pins, I'm sure.
So it's the only pin that's not there.
Yeah, dude. I don't know how you're gonna fit that pin if you ever go there, but eventually.
Even if I go there, I can't even fit a pin in it. It'll just be an imaginary one. Mm-hmm. So you spent 2 weeks there, then you came back.
So then on the camp, because it was like a whole thing we did. We came back, and then like for the kids and like young adults and stuff, we did like a little like America, like taught them English, tried to help them like learn English and stuff like that. And then we did, I mean, obviously played sports. They love soccer over there.
They love soccer everywhere.
Yeah, they love soccer, except for America. No, I'm just kidding.
They like soccer here. It's not as big in America.
It's not, it's definitely not as big over here. But they like soccer. We tried to teach them football. That was fun.
Oh, Lord. That was a good time. Flag football?
Well, just like two-hand touch football. Yeah, nothing too crazy. But like, that was fun trying to like, tell them all the rules and stuff. And then they like volleyball too. We played a lot of volleyball. Yeah.
Nice. That'd be fun.
No, I'll do volleyball. Super fun.
Did you have real balls?
Yeah. We played with the normal volleyball.
Didn't use a soccer ball as a volleyball too?
No.
I'm curious about this town though. Is it like pretty modern? This little camp you're at?
The village?
Yeah.
No. There was one, it wasn't like modern, but like obviously they do a lot of building of their own things over there because they don't have all the amenities that we have.
Yeah.
So there was one house that we went into that the guy knew the interpreters, I think. It was I think it was like his uncle, one of the interpreter's uncle, that we went over to his house. And like, it was crazy. It was so cool. Like, it was like a bunch of like wood that he like put up, and it was like all hand like carved and all that stuff they were saying. And there was like a bunch of wood, like a bunch of pictures. It just like, it looked amazing, like how we did it, like did all these carvings in the wood and stuff. And it was like, holy cow, it was just amazing. And then we went to another guy's little house, and he basically had this like nice like table that he had made himself. Yeah. And he was like asking like, what do you think? He's like, oh, it's really good, and like all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, I built it with my own hands and stuff. Wow. Like that. It's like, holy crap.
That's super cool.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. They do all that stuff over there.
So you're teaching Christianity, right? You're on a mission to preach Christianity.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between Christianity and Catholic? Are they interchangeable?
No, so Christianity is a little, I mean, I'm sure there's Christians and Catholic, but there's a lot of difference, like with Catholicism. I mean, obviously have the Pope, which is a thing. They have like the confessional thing. So like with like a father, I mean, like in Christianity, you can tell people or like confess to people, like if you've committed any sins, but it's like a one-on-one conversation.
You can do it to anyone?
Well, like people that you're close to, not with like you got to get in the booth. You
don't have to get in the booth in Christianity. You can just get people you're close with, and that absolves you of your sins.
No, you tell them if you've wronged them, and then like you tell them like all that stuff. So
does it absolve you of your sins?
Well, if you ask for forgiveness and all that stuff.
Or they don't forgive you,
then that's a little tougher. Like you did the right thing, but like then they got to work on forgiveness, I guess.
Interesting.
It's because sin, it doesn't like affect just you; it affects other people. And it can it changes. Mm-hmm. It could change a relationship, or depending on what it is and what you do. Right. Because if you steal from somebody and that you're close to, they might not trust you watching their house for a weekend or something. Obviously, so it changes.
You're not sleeping in here tonight.
Yeah, dude, I took some. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, oh, good.
No, I'm just kidding. But it affects, like, it doesn't just affect you. It usually affects other people. Yeah. Like, there is this sin that can affect you. So like praying to God for forgiveness and all that stuff, and like having that relationship. And that's, I think, the biggest thing like that I see in my walk with God is like Catholicism is more of a religion, and what I like to see is it's like a relationship with God.
What, Christianity?
Like,
or Catholicism?
Because there's like Christian churches that are still like very old school. And it's more of like, you have to do this, you have to check this off, you have to do everything right, you can't do anything wrong. But it's like more of a religion than I see it as like a relationship, because you're praying, you're talking to God, you're getting to know Him by reading His Word. And, when you ask Jesus to come in your heart, it changes like everything. Like when it says that, when you accept Him into your life, it basically makes you a new creation.
So you're saying Christianity does this and Catholicism doesn't?
No, so Catholicism, like, I don't know a lot about it, but like, there's just like some differences because, so the Christianity that we were teaching is like non-denominational, so we strictly teach out of the Bible. It's like everything in the Bible.
What Testament?
New Testament, Old Testament.
Both of them?
The Bible, like your modern Bible.
I don't read too many Bibles.
Oh, dude, shit, it's a good book.
So
it's like the best-selling book forever, man.
I think Harry Potter beat it.
Yeah.
It's pretty far up there.
I mean, it could have. I haven't checked it.
I think the Bible is the bloodiest book, and I think Harry Potter is a top grossing
the
book.
bloodiest book. Hey, there's
true.
wars in history all the time, man. It's just
There's no war over Harry Potter.
I'm saying in history. It just gives you an account.
Anybody who's not a Gryffindor is going down.
It gives you an account of history. Nah, there's a lot of wars in history.
No Harry Potter wars. So,
yeah, what's his name was killing people?
No, he didn't.
I don't know.
Harry Potter?
I've never seen Harry Potter. I'm sure he did.
He just Expelliarmus people. And he took his
it's like
wand
the same
away.
as killing people. Who knows?
It's not the same. He knocked him out and took his wand away. Didn't kill anybody. Good guy.
You're talking about the name we don't speak of?
No, it's Voldemort.
Yeah, that guy's a bad guy. He's killing people.
He did not kill anyone.
He didn't kill anybody. He put him to sleep. He's just resting.
He just put a green spell on him. Little green sleep spell.
I don't know what that means, but
so Christians don't follow the Pope.
No,
And the Pope's word. That's strictly Catholic.
Yeah, that's like all Catholicism and all that stuff. Cause like,
so who's like the hierarchy of Christianity? Like, there's no Pope. There's no like apostles or anything.
Well, we have apostles and there's pastors.
You do have apostles and pastors.
Yeah, there's like pastors, but there's no like, I don't know, like one figure that tells all the other pastors what to do.
So
I mean, except I guess that would be God, like in Jesus, like they, because if you're preaching on the Bible, like that's God's word. So, and that's where you, as a Christian, like that's where you should be getting all your information and all of like the ways you're going to teach and stuff like that.
So it kind of sounds like it's kind of discretionary from church to church on preacher to preacher what they teach.
Yeah, and that's why you have the different so you have like Lutherans, Baptists.
Oh, interesting.
So there's different.
What's the difference between like a Lutheran and a Baptist?
I mean, I'm not a Lutheran or a Baptist.
What are
but
you?
I know, so non-denominational. So
there's how many are there? So there's non-denomination.
Lutheran,
Lutheran,
there's a lot.
Baptist.
Lutheran, Baptist, Catholic would be considered in that conversation. Christian Reform, I found out is a thing.
Okay.
I don't know what that is exactly.
Yeah.
But and then there's like another. Then there's a few other ones that I don't know.
Interesting.
So kind of, and they all have kind of like their own things, like how they, I guess you would say how they kind of interpret things of the Bible.
Right.
Because like I know, I think it's Lutherans. I could be wrong on this, but I think Lutherans believe like babies need to be like
christened.
No,
baptized.
they need to be baptized.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can't go to heaven.
Sure.
I think that's Lutherans. I could be wrong. It's either Lutherans or Baptists.
Baptist seems pretty self-explained. Baptism.
Well, I mean, you do it like later in life when you can make that choice. So that's another thing. Like, so like they believe like you can't, and then or you have to get baptized as a child, right?
Right.
To like go to heaven. But like in other things, like in the Bible, it doesn't really say that. It says when Jesus went into the town, he had to like he was like 12, like he could make his own decision, type of thing.
Right.
So it and then other churches believe so you have to be able to make your own decision to get baptized. So and then that obviously.
I see. So are you baptized?
I got baptized, yeah.
Were you a child or how old were you?
I was like 13.
Oh, interesting. Did you choose it or your parents did it?
No, I chose it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think you were religious back then. I thought you didn't find religion until like 18.
So I grew up going to church.
I don't remember you going to church ever.
Like,
Ever.
Well,
No, I don't remember you going to church once before college. High school. I think it was like 18. It was the first time I heard of you going to church.
Yeah, well, that's because I went to church as a kid growing up with my family, obviously. And then I fell away from going to church and I kind of... So, until I was about 12 or 13, got baptized. And then I was just like, I'm going to go do my own thing. Like, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to live for myself. And let me tell you, it's a real lonely life. So then like high school, I just do my own thing. And I just kind of live in an empty hole in my life. And then got into college and did the same thing. You know, was drinking a lot and partying a lot with my brother, and we would hang out. And then the one thing that scared me was probably like the Holy Spirit talking to me, because so I basically fell away, and then I came back with one of the thoughts of like, if I died, I don't know where I'd go. That's a real scary thought.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, then you're kind of talking about eternity, and that's a whole other thing. Because it's, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, there was kind of this cool illustration of like my pastor did. So he like put this whole rope like across our church's stage.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, it's, you know, quite a ways.
Like a tug-of-war rope?
Yeah, just like a giant rope.
Okay.
And he wrapped up one end, and it was like this long. He's like, okay, this is your life right here. And then the rest of this is the rest of eternity. So it's a pretty cool illustration. You're like, oh man, well, it's got some big implications then. So yeah, that was like one of the thoughts that I was like, man, if I died right now, I don't know where I go. I got to get my life right. So then I tried to like find other churches and find places to go, and then I found a good church that I go to now.
Which one is that?
Well, it was called Great Falls Christian Center.
Okay.
At the time.
So they're not like a franchise? They're just a town church?
Yeah, just one town.
Are there franchise churches?
So
like St. Anne's all over the place, or like a Journey or something?
Yeah, there's like
or is it all town specific?
No, they got, I'm pretty sure some of like the bigger churches in like bigger cities have like, I want to say like satellite churches. Have you heard of these? Where it's like they have like a congregation come and then they watch the service like just online type of thing.
No, interesting. Okay.
So I like pretty sure that's a thing, but yeah, usually, I mean, for a small town like Montana, it's just like you're just in
your town's church.
Yeah.
So do you tithe?
Yeah, I do.
Is it required?
No, it's not required. Well, I mean, like in the Bible, it talks about like tithing and to do it, because the idea behind it is, so God blesses you with all this stuff. He gives you everything.
Right.
So the first 10% of what you give should go back to God, because it's His money anyways, and you're just being a good steward of what He gave you.
So you tithe 10% back to your church, or do you tithe more?
I do 10%.
Do other people do more?
Yeah, you can. Some people, you know, try to do as much.
How do they do that? Like an auto draft?
What do you mean?
Do like auto draft it out of your bank?
Oh, how do I do it?
How does everyone do it?
I don't know how everybody does it. How I do it is just with cash. So much easier.
Oh, really? Do you think other people like auto draft tithe?
Yeah,
like
they could. I like just
church of whatever auto draft.
You just figure out your income and then just take 10% away from it. So
I figure out what that charge was on my credit card from earlier.
Yeah,
forgot about that.
Yeah, and it's not like a required thing. They tell you about giving and all this stuff. It's just more of like it just shows. Like, I personally think it's a good idea to do. Why? But I'm not going to tell, because it's like just trying to be a good steward of the money that He gave me. So I'm just giving back what He gave me. And I mean, like, that's my own conviction. Like, that's another thing too, is like your own convictions. Like, I'm not going to tell everybody you should start tithing right now. Like, that's up to them what
they choose to do.
Like, yeah, between them and God. That's not my place to say anything like that. So it's just, and that's another thing of just a lot of the other things of like your own conviction. If you believe you shouldn't and it goes against like one of your convictions, then you probably shouldn't do it.
So the people that don't tithe, or actually, do they have any like charitable programs for people that are like going through hard times, where you can like get assistance from the church with financial?
Yeah, they do. Like, so right now we're in the process of like giving to one of the schools. So we kind of like not adopted, but like partnered with a school, and they gave us some families like kind of on the lower income side, and we're like doing like a fundraiser to give them presents. So they like would give you a slip of paper that has like a present of what the family member wants, and they give to that, and you know, you can give, if you want to buy them a gift, you can. If not, then you know.
Oh, interesting.
It's up to you. So, and then for the other things, like if the people need help, I'm sure they could talk to the church. I'm not like in the financial part of the church, so I don't.
So what's your position in the church right now?
I just serve in kids' church.
So you serve in kids' church. Does that have a title?
No.
No? You're not like a leader of any sort?
No.
What do they call you?
Oh, they call me
Caleb?
Jimmy. Yeah, they call me Jimmy mostly. It was a pretty sweet name. I seem to like it. So,
I seem to like it. Yeah. They can't pronounce God, so they say Jimmy.
No. I mean, no, it's just the old classic nickname. So
what are the positions in your church? So there's like pastor.
So there's like the leading pastor.
Okay.
And then there's a kids pastor who does like kids church stuff.
That's you. You're a kids pastor.
No, I'm just like a teacher. Like I just like teach on Sunday. That's all I do. So, and so he's over that stuff. I'm just like on one of the teams, and then we have like some associate pastors, and we have like an elder, and just other people that help in the church, like finance, scheduling stuff, and do all that.
So who decides what to preach? Does the preacher decide? The pastor decide what to preach arbitrarily, or?
Well, they get together with like everybody, and I'm sure they discuss it and talk about it, and tell because it's not like the lead pastor doesn't preach every Sunday. They sometimes switch it.
Really?
So yeah, they switch.
But
it
if you want to do it, could you do it?
No,
Why not?
Well, for one, I don't want to preach in front of people. That's not one of my gifts.
What if I wanted to do it? What if I wanted to
Yeah,
have it?
they won't let you do it.
Why not?
Well, because
I feel like I'd be pretty good at it.
I don't know about that.
I bring this. Everybody, welcome.
Do you know Jesus? Because if you don't, I'll show you this axe. That's dangerous.
That's like the Viking thing.
That's dangerous.
That's exactly what they did in Norse history. They're like, do you want to meet Jesus faster? Literally with an axe.
Yeah.
And they go show him Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, if you believe, they'll go kill him.
I mean, it's better to say, like, hey, Jesus died for your sins. All you got to do is accept it in your heart. And it says, those who do shall not perish but have eternal life.
So, do you want to have any higher position in the church? Or do you kind of want to be a person in the crowd the whole time? Just, what do you call a person in the crowd?
I mean, I like to help kind of in the background.
Yeah.
So wherever I'm needed, just kind of in the background. I don't want to get in front of people and talk. That sounds...
Well, I mean, not like a preacher. Like,
yeah, that sounds real hard.
Sure, there's other roles you can do, like an elder, like a church elder.
I'm not. I'm 29, dude.
Oh, when you get there, maybe when you're 50, you could be a church elder.
Yeah, maybe when I'm 50. Yeah. Well, we'll see where I'm at when I'm 50.
What does the elder do? Just give wisdom?
I think they talk and discuss what the sermon should be, or maybe put in their input here or there, and kind of help the other pastors.
So, how much time do you give to the church a week?
A week?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not as much as I should. I mean, I help out if like some people need help. I'll go do some things, but our kids' church serving is like once every month, so we have like a meeting.
Yeah.
Like a week before, and then we do like like all 4 services now.
Yeah.
And we do.
So how many hours is that? Like 5? 10 hours a week.
Well, for like the meetings and stuff, it might be. Well, not because we only do it like the last 2 weekends. So that's when we get together. But yeah, our services is what, like 8:30 to 11:30. So around like 1.
2 hours.
Well, even like, so we get done usually around 1, so it's probably like you're there for 3.5 hours to 4 hours.
Dang, it's a long time.
And then Saturday night too. We
Yeah.
have a Saturday night service, and that's another like an hour and a half or so.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
Dang. What if it conflicts with work? Which one do you take off?
It's a 1 week in a month. Well, I mean, if I have to do work, mine's a little tougher because I got call and stuff.
Oh, what if you're in the middle of a church sermon and you gotta get called in?
Oh, I just tell like the people, like I already told the people I help with, I'm like, hey, I might be called in tonight. I might have to go, just so you're aware, type thing. So
nice.
Yeah.
So it's calling like they're just like, hey, we need you tonight.
Yeah, we need you to come in and
was it like
do
ER
surgery. Do surgery.
What's your position? Surgical tech?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I help in surgery.
So like if I was a doctor and like, Caleb, I need an axe.
Right. So here, let me see it really quick. All right, put your hand out.
Well, that was pretty good form.
You see that? Yeah.
Pretty good
You
form.
feel a slap
You
like
feel a
right
slap?
there. Yeah, you feel
Close
it.
my hand right on it?
Yeah, you feel
Now I'm ready to
your hand wraps,
insert it in.
Insert it in whoever's not tithing, so.
Send those people to God. You're really me. Saving people right here. So how many hours do you work at your normal job per week?
Either 40 hours or 32 hours usually.
32 hours? Are you hourly or salary?
Hourly. I'm 0.9, so.
What's that?
So, it just means I get 72 hours in 2 weeks. for regular hours, but that doesn't include like on-call hours.
What's 0.9 mean? Is that like 0.5?
Yeah,
0.2?
So 0.5 would be for 2 weeks you get 40 hours. And 1.0 is
I don't know the medical system.
Yeah, it's like how they.
Can you move up in your position? Or is it kind of just surgical tech? Is there like a surgical tech level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or just?
There's a surgical tech too.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to know, like, I think they do it after like 5 years, and you have to basically tell them, or basically show that you know a bunch of stuff about a lot of the surgeries.
So is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna try to move up to like surgical tech too?
I don't know yet. So you can do that, or there's like you can be a first assist. So you can like close wounds. You can put local in.
You can put local in.
You can do a bunch of.
Man, I'm not trusting that.
You can do a lot more in that position.
Yeah.
To help the doctor out.
Are you gonna do it?
That's like another 6 months of schooling and like 10 grand.
Of schooling.
For that, doing that.
You make it up
program.
though.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do it though.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
You got time.
Dude, I just got out of school like 4 years ago. I went back to school. That's the worst.
Why not? Eli's still in school.
Good for him.
You call him up.
Yeah,
going back to school
for his master's. I'll stick with my associate's degree.
You have an associate degree?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How I thought you had to have a higher degree than that.
No, dude, associates. It's like 1.5 years of generals and then 1.5 years of the program.
That's it?
So you end up getting associates, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, dude, I went to the college behind the college, dude.
Went to the college
save some money.
behind the college.
Behind
They
the
didn't
college.
teach us how to mute our phones.
Didn't teach us anything about iPhones, so I missed that day.
That is hilarious. I went to the college behind the college.
Yeah, dude.
That's so
Everybody sees the expensive college, but it's the one right behind it. Where you can't see it.
The generic one?
Yeah, the generic one, yeah.
It's not like Frosted Flakes.
It's pronounced community college.
It has its own pronunciation.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's still a really good paying job, though.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, no, it's a super solid job.
It's pretty, it's very interesting in this, it's just a different kind of stress than other jobs.
Why is it stressful? I feel like it wouldn't be too stressful. Like, hand me the axe.
Well, if you do something wrong, patient might die if it's super severe. Like, I mean, not that happens all, like, you are in those situations all the time, but it could potentially happen. Like, a patient could die.
Oh, that's true.
You know, if you're putting in implants that are going to stay in the patient for
you do it? I thought the doctor did that.
Yeah, but you got to get the implants ready. So like, one of my favorite specialties is ortho.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we do a bunch of like total knees, total hips.
Yeah.
And we basically put implants in for those.
Right.
And you have to make sure you're getting like the right side,
Mm-hmm.
the right size.
Right.
And it's everything that the doctor wants. So
Wow.
it'd be a pretty bad thing to get the wrong stuff, put into a patient. So
Gonna make somebody lopsided.
yeah, you'd be walking around all low-legged.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so then you'd have to be like, oh yeah.
And you can make that a travel position, right? If you wanted to. Surgical tech travel position.
Yeah, you can go around and travel for that.
All over the country or all over the world?
I don't know about the world, but I know in the U.S. you can.
They have like travel programs. How do you sign up for that?
You have to sign on with like a recruiter, and then once you
just like get contracts for like a year, 6 months.
Yeah, they're supposed to like help you find a hospital to go work for. They ask you like where you want to work or where you want to or where you're looking, and then they'll get you like basically a hospital. Like usually it's like a 13-week stint. That's like pretty normal unless the hospital asks you. If they like you, they might ask you to stay longer.
I wonder if they contract with any Airbnbs to like stay out. Or do they have like places for you to stay for those 13 weeks?
It probably depends on how big the hospital is.
Yeah. I know Bozeman has one. I was talking to a girl the other day. She's a travel nurse, travel something. I don't know what she is. But she's saying she stays at like the hospital house. Like a bunch of hospital people live there, but the hospital owns it.
Yeah.
And her contract ends soon and she's going to be taken off. So I wonder if other places do that.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably depends on how big the hospital is. Like some of the smaller ones probably don't have that, but
I think Benefits does. A pretty big hospital.
So they have like sleep rooms, but I don't think they
have like a house for
have like houses. Yeah, they might. Yeah, I think usually I talked to a few of the travelers that have come and gone through there, and I think there's like a hotel that they try to stay at.
Oh, like just contract with a hotel.
You know.
I wonder which one they contract with.
Or I don't even know if that's contracted. It just might be the only a spot that they can get a place to stay for that amount of time.
But there's like a surplus of places to stay in Great Falls.
I mean,
There's a lot of hotels there.
Yeah, but to get it for like, to want to stay in a hotel for 13 weeks.
I would love to stay in a hotel for 13 weeks.
It's a long time to stay in a hotel. That's probably super expensive. And on top of that, because usually they wouldn't want to do that because you get a stipend too for like food and lodging and all that stuff. And usually, if you find a cheap spot, you can probably save some of that money.
Pocket some of the money.
Yeah, take some of the money because you did your due diligence and found better spot to stay. That's
like you say, the Travel Lodge. You know where that's at?
That's cheaper.
You know where the Travel Lodge is at?
No.
You don't know where it's at?
No.
Right by the 50s.
The classic 50s?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the Airway Motel?
Oh, that's the Airway Motel?
The place where you go to get murdered?
Yeah.
What's that? I don't know who would want to stay there. Yeah,
I'd stay there.
I'd stay there if I want to go get stabbed for the night,
You can bring my axe.
Get your day.
Here, I'll even hand it to you like a proper
I might come back with a gun. Oh. First it goes knife, then axe, then gun, man.
Yeah, that's true. I'd rather have an axe though. So I could knock him out. I want to be nice like Harry Potter, or I could Voldemort him.
You could Voldemort. Yeah, you gotta make that decision quick though. Oh no, they're coming. Voldemort!
But however you hand it to me, because you have the surgical text, so however you hand me it, if it's this way or if you hand me it this way, it's gonna be backwards.
It's gonna be backwards.
See, it's the difference between life and death.
Yeah, and things just got so intense.
They kind of did.
Yeah.
No, so I think you should definitely try to move up to that second position.
I don't know.
Get more money.
Seems like a lot of work.
Where would you want to go if you could do a travel spot?
I don't know. I looked at that's not true. I looked at a few places.
Like where?
Somewhere small. I don't want to go to the big
You
city.
live somewhere small.
Yeah, it's great. I don't want that to change.
Sorry.
So maybe I was looking at I looked at like Wyoming and what's another spot? Like Wyoming was a big one. Oh, South Dakota. That's another one.
Don't go to Wyoming. You know I got kidnapped there, right?
Who?
I got kidnapped in Wyoming. You never knew that?
No.
No, you hear the story?
Well, kind of. You brought it up.
So, I was hitchhiking, right?
You probably didn't have an axe at the time, I'm assuming, huh?
I had a gun, but...
Wasn't an axe, though. The axe
was
saving
an axe.
your life.
Well, I saved my own life, so we're good, but I was, I was hitchhiking, right? Like, I quit my job to go hitchhike.
I did not know about that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh my god. So,
Why would you go hitchhike?
I hitchhiked across the country.
Haven't you seen any horror movie ever?
I brought my axe. No, I didn't bring an axe. That was that good last time, too. He didn't know that either. You guys need to follow my Instagram, my goodness. Oh, you don't have Instagram?
I don't have social media.
No wonder you didn't know. Alright.
So,
I quit my job at 23 in Great Falls because I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and hitchhiked across the country. But in particularly in Wyoming, I was on the side of the road. This is right after I got done staying with a girl there for like 6 days that I met. It was super fun, stayed on a ranch. And I was further down, it was like Green River, Wyoming. Or it was like a little town outside of that. And I was on the side of the highway. I had my thumb out. And this truck goes by, an old raggedy Dodge pickup. I'm like, uh-oh. Like, I could just tell. Like,
this guy's gonna kidnap me?
I was like, oh, here we go. Like, I just had a feeling. It was like a gut feeling. I was like, not you.
Not you.
Not you.
Not you.
But I'm pretty hungry, so let's go. So I hop in, and there's two guys. And they're like, where are you going? I'm like, just the next town over. My buddy's going to pick me up. Which he wasn't. And I was just kind of nervous that they were going to kidnap me. So
right,
it was just like, can you just drop me off in the next town? So I'm out of town. It's more safe. So they're like, yeah, we can take you to the next town. I'm like, cool. It was like 15 miles away.
Oh.
We're driving. And we get to the next town. They're like, this is a little town. We'll take you to the next one. I'm like, all right, whatever. Let's go. We go to the next town. It's even littler. They're like, let's take you to another one. I'm like, no, like my friend is gonna pick me up, and they didn't give me an option. They just kept driving. I was like,
did you get into the truck, or were you like in the flatbed of the truck?
No, it was like a 4-door pickup.
Oh,
so I was in the back seat.
Oh, you were in the back seat.
So it was the front seat, the back seat, and then like the bed.
Oh, okay. Because I was imagining like a 1970s Ford truck that they were driving.
It was like an old 1995 Dodge pickup, 4-door.
4-door. Okay, that makes more sense.
So we go past the town again. Second town, I'm like, oh my god, like, what are we doing? I'm like, I need to get dropped off. They're like, no, we'll take you to the next town. We go to the next town, And this was like well over an hour at this point. And I think it was called Green River or Green Springs or something like that, whatever the name was. And we go to the town. I'm like, all right, great, thanks, drop me off. Like, no, we're gonna take you to lunch. I'm like, no, like it's good. It's good.
They're gonna take you to lunch?
Yeah, like we'll get you lunch. I'm like, no, it's good. They took me to their house in the town. I'm like, I'm not going in your house. Like, you're gonna effing kill me. Like, I heard about that happening in Wolf Creek. And they're like, come in, we'll make you lunch. I'm like, I gotta make a call to tell my friend where I'm at. I didn't have a friend. I was all alone in the middle of Wyoming. So I made a fake call and I didn't get off the phone until they came back out. And I waited outside for like 15 minutes. And they were waiting for me to come in. I was like, I'm not going in that house. Like, you're for sure gonna kill me.
Smart decision.
For sure.
Right, yeah.
So they came back out. They're like, okay, you ready for lunch? I'm like, no, like I need to go on the highway. Like my friend is coming. Like I need to meet him. And they're like, all right, we'll take you. So I get back in the truck and they're like, let's go to McDonald's real quick. I'm like, okay, we can stop by there. So we go to McDonald's, grab Mickey D's, and then we go to the highway again. And it was really sketchy. They dropped me off under this bridge. And there was like no one there. It was like a weird part of the highway. And he's like, you gotta be careful out here, man. I'm like, I know. He's like, a lot of kidnappers around here. He's like, you can trust us, but you know, people can get kidnapped. Like, you gotta be careful. I'm like, you were gonna kidnap me. Like in my mind.
In my mind.
I'm like, you were gonna kidnap me.
Yeah.
But they were nice guys, you know. They were fun to talk to. They were pretty nice. I liked them. They had a really cool story of how they came to be. But I thought for sure I was gonna get kidnapped. But I think if I would have went in their house, I may have. So I don't know if you heard about that happening in Wolf Creek, where someone like broke down, they were hitchhiking, and this couple got invited to another couple's home. They're like, come into our home, like we'll feed you, like you broke down in your car. And they went to their home and they murdered them. They straight up got murdered. So I was like, I heard that story. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Especially when they said no to dropping me off in 2 towns to get me to their house in the 3rd town.
Right.
It's like, it's pretty sketchy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like if I was picking up a hitchhiker, I'd never be like, no, you can't get out. Like you have to come to my house.
Right.
And that's just a red flag.
And who wants to feed you lunch?
Who wants to?
I mean, like, who would want to feed somebody lunch that they don't really know?
I've had a lot of people, actually. Really? Yeah, like I was in...
Interesting. That's just weird to me.
No, like I feed people all the time. Like I pick up hitchhikers, no big deal. I had one guy pick me up and we were in Jackson Hole. We got to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We're in the town now. And he's like, I'm going to lunch. No, it's dinner time. He's like, I'm going to dinner. Do you want to come at a restaurant? I was like, yeah, sure. Like he was super nice. And like we're obviously in the same town. It's a resort town and it's a public restaurant, so I wasn't worried. Yeah. So took me to dinner, like bought me dinner. He's like, I love your spirit. I love what you're doing. Right. He's like, here's dinner on me. I'm like, wow, thank you. Like that was so nice. I had one lady pick me up. She didn't even say hi. She picked me up outside of Boulder, Colorado. And she's like, where are you going? I'm like, Boulder. She's like, me too. And she was on the phone. She's like, get in. I'm like, okay. And she talked on the phone for like half an hour. She's like, then we just started talking more. She's like, you have anywhere to stay tonight? I'm like, no. She's like, you want to stay with me? And she was like some old lady, like 65 years old. She was so nice. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I guess.
I can get out of this situation if I have to.
I was like, I could probably get out of this one.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not too strong, guys. Yeah. I'm like, you're just an old lady. I can get out of this.
I can get out of this.
So she stuck me in her basement. And she took me to the store, I got me some food. I got myself some food, and I went to her basement, I stayed in her basement. Then I went longboarding around Boulder. Yeah. It's pretty fun, but yeah, people are super nice. They're super generous, and like, I would do it, depending on who it was. Like,
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I was always told, I think it was one of our family members, back in the day, picked up a hitchhiker and the guy killed him. So like my family or my parents would always say, don't pick up hitchhikers because they're gonna kill you or could kill you, you know. So
they could,
right?
They could for sure.
So like that was like the story that I always grew up hearing and stuff like that, or just like, you know, if you ever.
I always ask people, I'm like, why'd you pick me up? They're like, you just look like a good kid. Yeah. Like I had a guitar, had a nice backpack, I was dressed nice. Right. Like you just look like a good guy.
Were you hitchhiking with a suit on?
No. Well, actually, I was wearing a swimsuit. Most days I was wearing my swimsuit because I would go to the river and shower and stuff and just drip dry. Put on a shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we gotta get ready. We gotta go. We gotta go hiking. All right. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Mm.